Y'all watch this. Check this out. The Minoan civilization was a Bronze Age Aegean civilization on the island of Crete and other Aegean islands, whose earliest beginnings were from c. 3500 BC, with a complex urban civilization beginning around 2000 BC, then declining from c. 1450 BC until it ended up around 1100 BC during the early Greek Dark Ages. It represents the first advanced civilization in Europe. Key word, in Europe. Okay, leaving behind a number of massive building complexes, sophisticated art, and writing systems. Its economy benefited from the network of trade around much of the Mediterranean. The civilization was rediscovered at the beginning of the 20th century through the work of British archaeologist Sir Arthur Evans. The name Minoan derives from the mythical King Minos and was coined by Evans, who identified the site at Knossos with the labyrinth of the Minotaur. The name Minoan derived from the mythical king Minos. Minos, I told y'all, the original Europeans first were black people. And I keep telling you this, okay? The original Cretans were black people. And the Minoans were named after King Minos, which was a Canaanite, dummy, not a Japhethite. In Greek mythology, Minos was the king of Crete. Again, in Greek mythology, Minos was the king of Crete, son of Zeus and Europa. Europa was Queen Europa, whom Europe was first named after. Let's see who Queen Europa is. In Greek mythology, Europa was a Phoenician princess of Argive Greek origin and the mother of King Minos of Crete. She was a Phoenician princess. Phoenician was an ancient, the Socratic, a state with primarily maritime realms, a civilization originating in the Levant region of the eastern Mediterranean. All right. The Phoenicians were Canaanites, sir. Do I need to prove that as well? I think I might need to do that. The Phoenicians were Semitic speaking people. They spoke, man, Canaanite, bro. Okay? The Phoenicians were a Semitic speaking people of somewhat unknown origin. They say somewhat because they know who merged in the Levant around 3000 BC. The term Phoenicia is an ancient Greek exonym, okay, that means likely describe, that most likely describe one of the most famous exports, a dye, also known as Tyrian purple. So the word Phoenician itself is named after a dye and not a people, okay? Let's get that straight. It did not correspond precisely to a cohesive culture or society as it would have been understood natively. It is debated whether the Phoenicians were usually distinct from the broader group of Semitic-speaking people known as Canaanites. Historian Robert Drew believes the term Canaanite corresponds to the ethnic group referred to as Phoenicians, by the ancient Greeks. However, according to archaeologist Jonathan N. Tubb, Ammonite, Moabite, Israelites, and Phoenicians undoubtedly achieved their own cultural identity, and yet ethnically they were all Canaanites, the same people who settled in farming villages in the region of the 8th century BC. Brother, all these peoples called Canaanites, brother. Nowhere in history it is debated whether they're called Canaanites ethnically or whether they're called Canaanites genetically. You understand? You know, you see right here clearly that the historian Robert Drews, which is a very good historian like myself, believes the term Canaanite correspond with the ethnic group referring to the people as Phoenicians. Now, this brother here, Jonathan N. Tubbs, didn't deny that fact. He did not argue against that fact. He just included a whole bunch of other people along with that definition. Dummy. So, the Minoans were not Japhethites, and they were not the people known as in Greek history that embodies Greek history. Okay? Greek history wasn't really told or written down until Homer and the Iliad, dummy, and the Odyssey, dummy. All right? It was their first written records. And their first written records was written in Phoenician alphabet, not Japhethite alphabets, because the Phoenicians was in the land first, dummy.